morning, dear hearts. We are on review lesson number 118, and please subscribe. So because we're in review, we have 2 lessons to go over today to review. And the first one is God's peace and joy are mine. The second one is let me be still and listen to the truth. Remember, we will spend 5 minutes during the course of the day, 5 minutes in the morning with the first lesson, 5 minutes sometime thereafter, it's suggested before we go to bed, on the second lesson. And in addition to that, on the hour, we will remind ourselves that God's peace and joy are mine. And on the half hour, let me be still and listen to the truth. So the first lesson, today I will accept God's peace and joy in glad exchange for all the substitutes that I have made for happiness and peace. The substitutes that I have made for happiness and peace. Well, where did these substitutes come from? Well, I invited them in. I invited in the ego, and I invited the ego in to be my substitute teacher in place of my true teacher, the one who knows, and that's the Holy Spirit. But the problem with my substitute teacher, there's really many, but the main problem is my substitute teacher does not know the curriculum. He does not know God's curriculum for me to have happiness and peace and joy. And he has no interest in teaching me that. Instead, this substitute teacher is going to give me things that are stand-ins for happiness and peace and joy, replacements for these attributes of God. But none of these replacements, these stand-ins, these substitutes, none of them will work for me for any amount of time because they're all illusions and they all are simply going to fall away. None of them are eternal and changeless, which God's joy and peace and happiness are. It is eternal happiness, eternal joy, eternal peace, because these are the gifts of God that I have been given, and they are forever for me, and they are mine to have. So instead of listening to the substitute teacher, I will be still and listen to the truth. See what I did there? In this lesson, the comments that we have to go into our practices. Let my own feeble voice be still, and let me hear the mighty voice for truth itself. Assure me that I am God's perfect son. You are the sinless, guiltless, perfect child of God, and we need to hear that voice for truth. And it again is the Holy Spirit's voice. But remember back in lesson 49 that told us that God's voice speaks to us all through the day. And yes, God's voice is indeed also the voice for God, which is the Holy Spirit. And that voice I can listen to all through the day. Instead of letting my feeble voice, my little voice, my voice that has no real information or truth or joy or peace to offer me. My feeble voice is the voice that I think I hear in my head that's coming from the ego. So let that voice, let that little voice, that distant voice, let that be still. And instead let me hear the mighty voice, the voice of power, the voice for truth, the voice for love. Let me hear that voice instead, because that voice will assure me, tell me, guide me, and let me know for once and for all that I am indeed God's child, and all that my Father wants for me is perfect joy, peace, happiness. He wants me to know the truth of who I am and what I am. So I will be still today and listen to that truthful voice, the mighty voice, the voice that only assures me and lets me know indeed how much I am loved and how much my Father cares for me. So I already mentioned that for this second lesson, I linked it back to lesson 49, that God's voice speaks to me all through the day. But for the first lesson, God's peace and joy are mine, we can see the connection from this to lesson 50, which I am sustained by the love of God. God's peace and joy are mine because I am sustained by God's love. I am held up. I am surrounded by God's love. I am kept in this space of eternalness, changelessness, by God's love. And they are mine. God's peace and joy are mine. I am sustained by God, and I will be still today and listen to the voice for God instructing me and letting me know what that my real curriculum is and what a true perception of this world will offer me. That's it for today. I hope it helped. Please like, please share, please comment, like, share, subscribe, comment. Please pray. Please pray that we all get to enjoy today the wonderful gifts that we are offered from God: peace and joy and happiness, eternal love, stillness, quietude, serenity. Namaste.